The vanishing fleet, the year was not special. The sky was not different. But the world was holding its breath. All across Earth, people looked up at the stars, waiting for history to be written. For many years, humans had prepared for this day. Factories had worked without rest, building the strongest warships ever seen. Engineers had designed machines that could survive the cold emptiness of space. Soldiers had trained harder than ever before. And now, at last, the great human fleet was ready. They called it the Guardian Fleet. Hundreds of warships, each one as large as a city. Shiny metal bodies reflected the light of Earth's sun as they floated in formation above the planet. Smaller ships moved between them like bees, around a hive carrying supplies and soldiers. The world watched. On every screen, in every city, people saw their defenders rising into the dark sky. Children waved flags, families prayed, old veterans saluted with tears in their eyes. For the first time in history, all of Earth was united. They were not fighting each other. They were preparing for something greater. Far away in the galaxy, alien empires were also watching. Many of them hated humans, many feared them, and some respected them. But none could ignore them. Humans were known for one thing. They never gave up. One alien commander whispered to another, "This is madness. Humans are sending their whole strength. If they fail, they will be broken forever." Another alien laughed. "Good. Let them go. The galaxy will finally be free of their stubborn spirit." The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. The voices of millions joined in, echoing across Earth and through every broadcast signal. The engines of the great fleet started glowing. The sound was silent in the vacuum of space, but sensors picked up the vibration. It was like the heartbeat of a giant. 3, 2, 1. The Guardian fleet moved. Slowly at first, then faster. Engines blazed with blue fire. One by one, the massive ships entered the void. Their target was unknown to the public. Only the highest leaders knew the truth. Some said the fleet was going to attack an alien empire. Others believed they were going to explore a hidden region of the galaxy. Whatever the mission was, everyone believed the fleet would return victorious. But then, the impossible happened. Minutes turned into hours. The fleet traveled further, sending back short updates. All systems normal. Engines stable. Formation holding. And then, silence. No more signals. No more updates. Every screen on Earth went dark. Operators at control stations tapped their devices, tried to reconnect, sent endless messages. Nothing came back. The strongest fleet in human history had vanished. At first, people thought it was a mistake. Maybe a delay. Maybe the fleet had entered a storm of radiation, blocking communication. But soon, fear began to grow. Days passed, weeks. No word, no ship returned. In the alien worlds, celebrations began. Enemies of Earth opened bottles of burning liquid, raised their glasses, and cheered. To them, it was victory without a battle. "The humans are gone," one alien general declared. "Their fleet is dust. Their courage has betrayed them." But not all aliens were laughing. Some sat in silence, their eyes full of unease. One scholar, old and wise, shook his head and whispered, "This is not the end. Humans do not vanish. If they are gone, then they have gone somewhere. And if they return, the galaxy will tremble." Back on Earth, the silence became heavy. Streets that were once filled with flags and cheers grew quiet. Families held on to hope, staring at the sky each night waiting for a sign. Soldiers who were not chosen for the mission trained harder, believing they might soon be needed. Leaders argued in secret rooms, some demanding new ships be built, others warning against another disaster. But no one knew the truth. Did the fleet face an alien ambush? Did they fall into a cosmic trap? Did they discover something too strange to understand? Or had humanity's greatest warriors simply been erased by the void? Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said the fleet had found a wormhole, Others believed they had entered a dark dimension. Conspiracies rose. The leaders knew this would happen. The fleet was never meant to return. Something ancient took them. Yet in all the noise, one fact remained unshaken. The Guardian fleet was gone. And then something even stranger happened. Alien spies reported that they could not find any trace of wreckage. No broken ships, no destroyed engines, no bodies floating in space. Nothing at all. It was as if the fleet had been swallowed whole by the universe. The galaxy grew quiet. The enemies of Earth stopped their laughter. Even the bravest aliens now whispered in fear. How can a fleet of such size simply vanish? Where did they go? And what will happen if they return? The stars looked the same as before, cold, distant, and endless. But to every watcher, they now felt dangerous. Something had changed. Something was hidden out there beyond human reach. The people of Earth kept waiting, and the aliens, even while pretending to be victorious, also waited. Because deep in their hearts they knew the truth. Humanity was not finished. Humanity was only beginning. And the silence of the vanished fleet was not the end of the story. It was only the first chapter. Alien reactions across the galaxy. The news spread like fire in dry grass. Earth's great fleet had vanished. At first, alien empires did not believe it. They checked their long-range sensors again and again. They searched for human radio waves, for energy trails, for the heat of engines still burning in the dark. But there was nothing. No wreckage, no signals, no survivors, just silence. In the great council halls of alien rulers, voices rose in excitement. "The humans are finished," cried the Koresh overlord, his forearms raised in triumph. His people had always feared Earth's rapid growth. Their pride has destroyed them. Now the galaxy belongs to us. Others joined in the celebration. The Dreth clans lit their burning pyres, believing it a gift from their gods. The Cathari Empire opened their vaults of crystal wine, drinking in wild joy. Across star systems, fireworks filled alien skies. To them, this was the end of Earth's challenge. But not everyone was laughing. On the far side of the Orion Arm, a meeting of alien scholars took place in secret. They were not soldiers, not rulers, but thinkers. They spoke softly, but their words carried weight. "Humans are strange," said the old Zaran historian, his eyes glowing like amber lamps. "They never accept defeat. If they vanish, it is not because they are weak. It is because they are planning something." Another scholar, a pale, thin Sarn from the edge of the galaxy, nodded. "I studied their wars. I read their history. Always the same pattern. First they fall, then they rise again stronger than before. The fleet is gone, yes, but perhaps not destroyed, perhaps changed." Their warning spread slowly, carried by whispers. But rulers ignored it. In the shining capital of the Seer Dominion, the Emperor sat upon his glass throne, watching the stars on a giant screen. His advisors bowed before him. "Great One," they said, "this is our chance. Earth's fleet is gone. Their defenses are weak. We should strike now. Their planet will be easy to break." The Emperor smiled, his sharp teeth glinting. "Yes, but something feels wrong. Do you not feel it? Like a shadow waiting in the dark?" His advisors fell silent. Even as aliens celebrated, fear began to creep through the cracks. Reports came from scouts, strange energy readings, faint echoes in deep space, small signals that did not belong to any known race. Could it be humans? The Koresh overlord dismissed these reports as lies. "Illusions, wishful thinking. They are gone and we are free." He ordered his fleets to prepare for invasion of human colonies. But those fleets never moved. The admirals hesitated. Soldiers whispered in their barracks. What if the humans returned? What if the vanished fleet was waiting for them, hidden in the shadows of the stars? On one world far away, an alien child asked her mother, "Are the humans really gone?" The mother smiled, but her eyes trembled. "Yes, child, They are gone. But deep inside, she did not believe her own words. The galaxy had seen too much of human spirit. They had watched Earth rise from a small world with no starships to a power that built a fleet rivaling ancient empires. They had seen humans fight wars they could not win, and still survive. They had seen humans make friends of enemies, and enemies out of gods. No one could erase that memory. Meanwhile, spies and informants began to dig for answers. In the black markets of the Vega spires, whispers traded for gold. The humans are not dead. They found something old, something powerful. Others told darker tales. The fleet was swallowed by a ghost weapon, a machine from before time. Whoever controls it will rule us all. Fear spread faster than celebration now. Some rulers stopped their feasts. Some soldiers refused orders. Even pirates grew nervous, leaving trade lanes untouched as if afraid of waking something sleeping. The strangest reaction came from the Velan priests, a species that believed the universe itself was alive. They declared that the humans had been chosen by the stars. Their temples rang with chants, "The vanished will return, the vanished will rise." Alien rulers mocked them. But in the quiet hours of the night, even the proudest kings could not sleep. The thought haunted them. What if the priests were right? In hidden corners of the galaxy, secret councils began. Plans were drawn for war against Earth, and also plans for peace. Some wanted to strike quickly, to burn the planet before the fleet could return. Others whispered that alliance might be wiser, that perhaps it was better to stand beside humans than against them. For the first time in many centuries, alien empires feared not each other, but a single silent enemy. An enemy that had not even fired a shot. An enemy that had simply vanished. The galaxy had expected screams, battles, and blood. Instead, they got silence, and that silence was more terrifying than any war. Because silence meant mystery. Silence meant possibility. And silence meant that somewhere, in the dark beyond the stars, humans were waiting. The aliens were speechless, but their fear spoke louder than words. And though they celebrated in public, deep inside, every empire knew the truth. This was not the end of humanity. This was the warning. The day the fleet vanished, Earth went quiet. At first, the silence was only in the command centers. Officers sat frozen in front of dark screens, headsets pressed against their ears, listening to nothing but static. They tried again and again to connect. No signal. No heartbeat of the great engines. No voice of the captains. The silence spread like a shadow. It moved from the command rooms to the government halls, from the government halls to the cities, and from the cities to every home on Earth. Families who had been cheering minutes earlier now sat in silence, waiting for news that never came. On the streets of New York, giant screens that once showed live feeds of the shining fleet now displayed only the word, "Connection lost." Crowds stared up, hoping the message would change. Some prayed out loud. Others whispered rumors. In Beijing, an old man selling fruit shook his head and muttered, "This is how it always begins. First silence, then death." Children clung to their mothers' hands, asking questions no parent could answer. The governments tried to act calm. They sent messages on every channel. "Do not panic. Communication is temporarily lost. The Guardian fleet is safe." But the words felt hollow. People could hear the fear in the voices of their leaders. Inside the United Earth Council chamber, leaders argued. Some slammed their fists on the table. "We must send another fleet," shouted the commander of the Asian Union. "With what ships?" asked the representative from South America. "We gave everything to the Guardian fleet. If they are gone, we have nothing left." Another voice spoke, quieter but sharper. "Maybe they are not gone. Maybe they discovered something. Maybe they don't want to be found." The room grew, still at those words. No one dared to answer. Meanwhile, ordinary people searched for hope in their own ways. Families lit candles in their windows. one for each soldier who never came home. Teachers told their students stories of bravery, reminding them of Earth's past victories. Soldiers who were left behind drilled day and night, blades of determination in their eyes. But fear crept in, quiet and heavy. The silence of the fleet was too complete. No wreckage, no distress call, no warning. It was like the universe had swallowed them whole. Rumors spread quickly. On the underground networks, people whispered, the fleet was betrayed from within. Others said, they found a wormhole and were pulled into another dimension. Some went further, claiming, the fleet never left, it was hidden, it is preparing for something even greater. No one knew the truth, but every rumor carried one common thread. The humans were not finished. In the small town of Nairobi Hills, a boy sat on the roof of his house every night staring at the stars. His father had been on one of the great warships. The boy whispered to the sky, come back, please come back. The stars did not answer, but the boy never stopped whispering. In a hospital in Paris, an old woman lay in bed. Her granddaughter asked her, Grandma, are the soldiers dead? The woman smiled weakly. Dead? No, child. Humans are never truly dead. They always return. Her words spread through the hospital, then the city, then the whole continent. It became a quiet promise. They will return. But not everyone believed. In secret rooms, some leaders grew desperate. They whispered of surrender, of making deals with alien empires before Earth was attacked. Without the fleet, we are defenseless, they argued. The aliens will come soon. We cannot stop them. Others refused. We will not bow. If the aliens come, we will fight with stones if we must. The argument split the council. Trust began to break. Fear turned to suspicion. Leaders accused each other of hiding information. Some even claimed the fleet's disappearance was planned by Earth itself, to test loyalty. The silence became not just an absence of sound, but a weight pressing down on the planet. A silence that divided people, yet also tied them together. Then, strange events began to happen. Deep space telescopes picked up faint flashes of light far beyond human colonies. At first, scientists thought it was random cosmic energy. But the patterns were too sharp, too deliberate. Could it be them? One young scientist asked, pointing at the repeating rhythm of light. Her supervisor frowned. If it is, then they are trying to send us a message, but why now? Why like this? The flashes stopped as quickly as they began. The mystery grew deeper. And still, Earth waited. Every night, cities went quiet as millions of eyes turned upward. Some looked with hope, others with fear, but all waited for the same thing, a sign. A single voice, a single ship, a single spark of proof that the Guardian fleet still lived. The world was silent, but inside that silence burned something powerful. It was not despair. It was not surrender. It was something far older, something carried in human blood since the first fire lit the first night. It was patience. It was belief. It was the quiet strength that said, if they are gone, we will find them. If they are alive, we will welcome them. And if they return changed, then we will stand beside them. The silence was heavy, yes, but it was not empty. Because in that silence, the people of Earth waited, not for an end, but for the beginning of something greater. Strange signals. Weeks passed. Earth stayed quiet. The fleet had not returned. No signals, no wreckage, no proof of life. For many, hope was fading. But then something changed. It began far from Earth, in the dark of deep space. A listening station orbiting Saturn picked up a strange noise. At first it sounded like static, the kind that always came from distant stars. But one technician, a tired young woman with sharp ears, froze when she heard it again. This is not random, she whispered. She adjusted the controls, filtered the sound, slowed it down. The noise repeated over and over in a clear rhythm. It was a pattern. Her eyes widened. This is human. She called her commander. Soon the entire station listened. The signal was faint, broken, but real. A message from far beyond, the reach of normal human ships. A message that should have been impossible. Earth's leaders were informed within hours. In secret chambers they gathered, listening to the ghostly signal play again and again. "It is them," said one general, leaning forward, his hands trembling. "Or it could be a trick," said another. "An alien attempt to confuse us." But when scientists decoded the fragments, all doubt vanished. The message carried human command codes, codes that only the Guardian fleet possessed. The words were broken, full of gaps, but the meaning was clear enough. Not destroyed, alive. The gate, the darkness, weapon, not of this galaxy. The room fell silent. A gate, a darkness, a weapon. What had the fleet found out there in the void? On Earth, news could not be hidden for long. Whispers spread like wildfire. People spoke of the message in markets, in schools, and factories. Soldiers smiled for the first time in weeks. Families lit candles again, this time not in mourning but in hope. "They are alive," shouted a woman in London's crowded square. "Our fleet is alive." The crowd cheered, their voices rising into the night sky. But not everyone was cheering. Far away, in alien space, spies also caught the signal. The Zir Dominion's intelligence fleet recorded the fragments, and within hours, alien rulers knew the truth. The humans were not finished. The Koresh overlord threw his glass cup against the wall. "Lies," he shouted. "Tricks. They are dead, I tell you, dead." But his advisors whispered carefully, "Great One, the codes are real. No alien could fake them. If the humans live, we must prepare." In the Dreth clans, the warlords argued. Some wanted to strike Earth before the fleet could return. Others demanded caution. "We saw their fleet vanish," one warlord said. "If they survived, then they found something beyond our understanding. Do you want to fight enemies who carry weapons from the unknown?" Even among neutral empires, fear grew. The signal was short, but it spoke of power, something not of this galaxy. That phrase alone was enough to shake even the most confident rulers. "What if the humans have awakened an ancient force?" asked one alien queen. "What if they now command a weapon that even gods would fear?" The galaxy grew restless. Back on Earth, the listening stations kept searching. More signals arrived. Some were nothing but static. Others carried strange pulses, almost like coordinates. Scientists argued whether it was a distress call, a map, or a warning. One signal stood out. It came not as sound, but as light. A beam that flickered across the stars, repeating in exact rhythm. When translated, it revealed a single chilling phrase: "We are not alone." The message spread across the planet. Some cheered, some cried, some trembled. In a small house in Brazil, a boy who had lost his father to the fleet whispered, "He's alive. He's really alive." In a bunker under Moscow, a general frowned. If they are not alone, who is with them? In alien worlds, the phrase became a nightmare. We are not alone. Did it mean humans had found allies, or something worse? The Valen priests declared it holy proof. The vanished fleet has spoken. They walked through the gate of the stars and returned with new companions. This is destiny. Their chants echoed through temples, filling alien skies with fear and awe. Meanwhile, secret debates shook the earth. Council. "If our fleet has found a weapon," said one leader, "then we must prepare to use it." Another leader shook her head. "No. We do not know what they touched. We do not know if it is safe. Perhaps it is a curse." But even as they argued, one fact was clear. The silence was broken. Humanity was no longer lost. Humanity was speaking. Again. Even if through shadows and fragments. The aliens who had celebrated Earth's defeat now sat in unease. The enemies who had planned to strike now held their fleets back. The galaxy waited, tense and uncertain. Because the signals were not just proof of life. They were a warning. A warning that the humans had gone somewhere no one had dared to go. A warning that they had seen something no one else had seen. A warning that when they returned, they would not be the same. And in the hearts of both humans and aliens, one thought burned brighter than all others. If the fleet found a gate, then what is waiting on the other side? The return. For many weeks, Earth listened to the strange signals. The galaxy whispered in fear, and then, without warning, the waiting ended. It began in the silent emptiness near Proxima Centauri. Alone, alien patrol ship drifted across the system, scanning for human colonies. The crew expected nothing, only dust, rocks, and dead silence. But their sensors picked up something impossible, a shadow. At first, it looked like a star had gone dark. Then the shadow moved, slow and heavy, taking form against the black sky. The alien captain's hand shook as he magnified the view. His crew gasped. It was a human warship. But it was not the same as before. The ship's body was still steel, still human, but now it glowed with lines of strange light, running across its surface like veins of fire. Energy pulsed around it, silent, but strong. Like a second skin of invisible armor, the ship looked alive. The alien patrol tried to flee. Engines roared, alarms screamed. But the human ship did not chase. It simply watched. And then, with a single flash of light, the alien patrol was gone, destroyed in silence, wiped from existence as if it had never been. The news spread quickly. The first warship of the Guardian fleet had returned. And it was not alone. Across different star systems, more human ships began to appear. Not all at once, not in one place, but scattered. Here a destroyer, there a carrier, each one changed. They were not wrecked, they were not broken. They were transformed. Alien scouts reported their sightings, but few lived long enough to send full details. One by one, alien ships were erased. No weapons could stop them. On Earth, the Council watched in awe as reports arrived. The missing fleet had not only survived, it had become something more. Crowds filled the streets again, cheering the names of the vanished ships. Families cried with joy. Children shouted, "They are back, our heroes are back." But in the council chamber, leaders spoke with unease. "They are not the same," one whispered. "They are stronger," said another. "Stronger than we imagined." "Yes," came a grim reply. "But at what cost?" The ship sent messages, but they were short and strange. Words broken by static. Sentences that sounded almost like warnings. "We crossed the gate. We found ruins. Not ours, not theirs, older. The gift, the weapon, the price." No one could understand fully, but everyone felt the meaning. The fleet had touched something far beyond human knowledge. Aliens trembled at the news. The Koresh overlord called an emergency council, his voice hoarse with rage. "This is not possible. Humans cannot control such power." An old advisor bowed his head. "Great One, the humans already control it. The question is not if they can, but what they will do with it." In the Dreth clans, warlords tore down their banners in panic. "If they return with this power, none of us can stand against them," one cried. Another shouted, "Then we must unite, or we will be nothing." The galaxy that had laughed now began to whisper. The galaxy that had celebrated now began to fear. On Earth, ordinary people did not fear, they believed. To them the fleet was a miracle, proof that humans were chosen, proof that no darkness could erase them. Songs were written, prayers were sung, and stories spread of the glowing ships returning from the edge of creation. But beneath the joy, questions grew. Why had the fleet returned in fragments, not as one? Where were the rest of the ships? What had they truly seen beyond the gate? And most of all, what was the price mentioned in their broken messages? One night, a second strange event occurred. A massive human battleship appeared in orbit above Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Its surface glowed with the same mysterious energy, but its hull was scarred, torn as if by claws of light. It did not attack. It simply released a pod which drifted down to Titan's surface. Inside was a single soldier. He was alive, but his eyes were changed, glowing faintly, as if carrying the same fire that flowed through the ship's dot before collapsing. He spoke only 5 words. "We opened what should sleep." And then he fell unconscious. The message spread faster than lightning. On Earth, leaders panicked. What had their fleet awakened? What had they brought back with them? Aliens, listening from the shadows, felt terror. Some declared the humans cursed. Others said they were blessed. None dared to act. The galaxy stood on the edge of something it had never seen before. Humanity had not only returned. Humanity had returned changed. And every alien empire, from the proudest kings to the lowest smugglers, now whispered the same thought in their own tongues. If this is the return, what comes next? The truth revealed, the galaxy had seen the glowing ships. It had heard the broken messages, but no one, not even Earth, truly understood what the Guardian fleet had found beyond the gate. Until now. It began with a voice. A single transmission, stronger than before, reached Earth's listening stations. The words were clearer, though, still carried an echo as if spoken from far away. "We found them. The builders, the first ones, long gone. But their weapons remain." The scientist replayed the message again and again. The word builders repeated like a ghost in their ears. Who were these first ones? What had humanity uncovered? Soon after, another message came, this time from a ship orbiting a dead star. The crew was alive, their faces pale, their eyes glowing faintly like the energy lines on their ship. They told the story. The Guardian fleet had not been destroyed. It had been pulled. When they reached the far side of the galaxy, they found a hidden gate, a wormhole unlike any known. It was not natural. It was crafted, built by hands long gone. The fleet had entered, not knowing what waited beyond. On the other side was not just another star system, it was a graveyard, a place filled with broken machines the size of moons, ruins of ships larger than continents, skeletons of cities floating in the dark, their lights gone for millions of years. The humans realized they had entered the remains of a civilization far older than any alien empire. The first ones, beings who had ruled the galaxy before, all others. But they were gone. Only their ruins remained. And among those ruins, the humans found something still alive. Not alive like a creature. Alive like a weapon waiting for a master. One captain described it in his broken transmission. It called to us, like a voice in the dark. It wanted us to take it. It wanted us to use it. At first, the fleet resisted. They tried to leave, but the gate would not open. They were trapped in the graveyard, surrounded by silence and shadows. Then the machines began to stir. Not fully alive, but not dead. Drones, guardians, protectors of the ancient ruins. The Guardian fleet fought. Battles raged in the dark. Entire warships were torn apart by weapons that bent reality. But humans did not stop. They adapted, they learned, they stole. Piece by piece, they took the forgotten technology and bound it to their own ships. That was why the returning ships glowed. They had fused human steel with alien power. But the survivors also spoke of a price. The machines did not give up their secrets freely. Many humans who touched the ancient systems were changed. Their eyes glowed. Their minds burned with visions. Some whispered of voices that were not their own. Others fell silent forever, their bodies alive but their souls lost. The soldier who collapsed on Titan had been one of them. His final words, "We opened what should sleep," were no longer just fear. They were truth. The first ones had left behind more than ruins. They had left behind a weapon too powerful to control, a weapon that had destroyed even them. And now humanity carried that weapon. On Earth, leaders sat in dread. Some saw salvation. With this power, humanity could rule the stars. No empire could threaten them again. Others saw doom. If the weapon could kill the first ones, it could kill humanity too. The debate grew fierce. We must use it before the aliens do, shouted one general. No, argued a scientist. We do not even understand it. We are playing with fire that burned gods. The people of Earth, however, were united in one feeling: pride. Their soldiers had gone into the unknown and returned. They had faced ancient death and survived. No matter the cost, no matter the danger, humanity had proven itself once again. Aliens comma meanwhile trembled. The Koresh overlord could no longer deny it. He called his fleets back, his voice shaking as he admitted, "The humans have touched the fire of the ancients." The Dreth clans began to split apart. Some wanted to join humanity, to bow before their new power. Others wanted to flee to the far edge of the galaxy, as far from Earth as possible. And the Valen priests. They sang louder than ever. The prophecy is true. The vanished have returned with the light of the gods. The galaxy will kneel before them. But even as the galaxy shook, the Guardian fleet sent one last chilling message to Earth. The builders are gone, but their enemies remain. We are not alone. We never were. Those words spread like a storm. If the first ones were dead, who had killed them? What enemy had survived when even the ancients had fallen? The truth was revealed, but it was not an ending. It was a beginning. A beginning filled with danger greater than anything the galaxy had ever known. Humanity now carried the weapon. Humanity now carried the burden. And every alien empire understood one thing. The galaxy was no longer ruled by the silence of the ancients. It was ruled by the humans who had awakened them. The final message: the galaxy held its breath. The Guardian fleet had returned in fragments, glowing with alien fire. Their broken signals told of the first ones, the ancient builders, and their fallen empire. The humans had touched their weapon, and the galaxy trembled at the thought. But no one, not even Earth itself, had yet seen the fleet together. That changed one night. The sky above Earth lit up as 1,000 points of light pierced the darkness. At first, people thought they were meteors burning across the heavens. But telescopes quickly revealed the truth. They were ships. The Guardian fleet had returned. Not in fragments this time, not scattered across systems, but united, forming a wall of steel and fire above their homeworld. Crowds flooded the streets, staring upward in awe. Some cried, some laughed. Some fell to their knees in prayer. The missing heroes were back. Yet these were not the same ships that had left. Each vessel now carried scars, marks of battles fought in the graveyard of the ancients. Their hulls glowed with strange veins of light, pulsing like the heartbeat of giants. Weapons unseen by any living race lined their frames. They looked like monuments to something both beautiful and terrifying. Earth's command centers lit up with signals. The fleet was calling. The first transmission echoed across every channel, not just to leaders, but to every human alive. The voice was deep, calm, and full of power. We are alive, we are stronger, and we are not alone. The word spread through every city, every colony, every home. Families screamed with joy. Children pointed at the glowing ships in the sky. Soldiers stood tall, tears shining in their eyes. But the message did not end there. We crossed the gate. We saw what came before. The builders are gone, but their enemies remain. They are still out there, waiting. We carry their weapon, but it is not victory. It is responsibility. Humanity must rise, or all will fall. The streets grew quiet. The cheering stopped, replaced by awe. Humanity had not just returned with power, they had returned with a warning. And every alien empire was listening. Across the galaxy, alien rulers froze as the message echoed into their worlds. The Koresh overlord, who had once laughed at humanity's defeat, now stood silent in his war hall. His generals whispered, but he did not answer. His eyes were fixed on the glowing human fleet above Earth, and for the first time he felt fear. In the Dreth clans, warlords dropped their weapons and bowed before the message. Some shouted that they would join humanity. Others cried that the Galaxy was doomed. Even the Zir Dominion, proud and ancient, admitted the truth. The humans had surpassed them. But the most chilling reaction came from the Velan priests. They fell into deep trances, their voices blending in a chant that carried across their holy cities. The vanished have returned. The vanished are chosen. The vanished will lead us to war. Back on Earth, leaders debated in secret chambers. Some wanted to use the ancient weapon to strike fear into every empire. Others warned that such power could destroy humanity as easily as it destroyed the first ones. But in the end, the decision was not theirs. The Guardian fleet spoke again, sending one final message, not just to Earth but to the entire galaxy. We do not seek conquest. We do not seek empire. But if war comes, we will not hide. We are the children of Earth. We are the survivors of the gate, and we will never kneel. The message thundered through the stars. Aliens who once mocked humans now bowed their heads. Enemies who once plotted their destruction now hesitated, their fleets frozen in fear. Even allies stood in silence, unsure whether to embrace or tremble. The humans had not only survived, they had ascended. On Earth, the people roared. They raised their hands to the sky, shouting the same words again and again. We will never kneel, we will never kneel. The sound rose like a storm, echoing across continents, carried into space itself. For the first time in history, all of humanity spoke with one voice. And the aliens listened, speechless. Because deep inside, they all knew the truth. The galaxy was no longer the same. The age of the first ones was over. The age of alien empires was ending. The age of humanity had begun. The Guardian fleet, once thought lost, now stood as the most terrifying force in the stars. Not because of their weapons, but because of their will. A will that no enemy, no darkness, not even the ghosts of the ancients could break. Above Earth, the glowing ships held formation, their silent engines burning with stolen fire. They did not move. They did not strike. They only waited. And in that waiting, the galaxy saw its future. A future where Earth was no longer just another world. A future where humanity was the center of destiny. A future where the phrase would be remembered for all time. The fleet vanished and returned greater than ever. The humans rose and the galaxy trembled.